Ladies and gentlemen, real estate professionals, it's Ignite Session 3. I'm your host, your facilitator, your coach from afar, Robert Earl with Keller Williams Realty. And today in Session 3, connecting with your market, we're going to talk about knowing your market, identifying your local market characteristics and the homework that you need to do to make sure that this occurs. We're going to talk about buyer markets, seller markets, balance markets, inventory, interest rates, all of the economic factors that tie into your area and the neighborhoods that you service. We're also going to talk about building your expertise by learning your market, your clientele, being able to listen to individuals and keeping the headlines in context. And then also the tools that you have available regarding the KW app command, establishing your business on social media, and different enrichments that you do. As always, we'll have recaps, ahas, and so we're going to jump into the Ignite sessions and really looking forward to this. I need to also say that if you've made it this far, congratulations. You've got, this is your third session of 20. So let's make sure that we keep it going. There also will be some side classes that you'll need to take regarding your local state contracts, local contracts, those types of things. But you made it this far, session 3. So let's keep this up and rolling and talk about what we'll actually be going through and the agenda that we will be covering today in session 3. Quick reminder, TCPA. Make sure that any contacts that you make are in compliance with TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, that you follow the do not call list, that you read through the other disclaimers that we have. It also appears in your student participation guide. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. Just make sure you follow the rules by being a fiduciary. So session 3, we've talked about sparking your career, embracing your job, and connecting with your market. These are all steps of becoming the real estate expert of choice. So this is going to prepare you to actually work with your clientele. Now let's talk about, before we step in, did you make success on your success system with your number of contacts, etc.? Because if we don't have leads, we're not in real estate. If we're not making conversations, then we don't have anybody to work with. Make sure you share that information, put it in the comments, send me a direct message. Make sure that you're working with your accountability partner or your coach as it goes through, whichever way that you're working with. So your agenda today, what we're going to go through in this session is we're going to talk about knowing your market, the various factors of your current market, and how this will inform your business focus and your strategy. We're going to analyze current real estate market trends to build your expertise, and we're going to utilize Keller Williams technology and tools, social media to connect with your clients and grow your business. To start thinking about what you'll learn today, let's consider what questions you might have that you'd like to learn more about. Now, I might not be able to answer your specific question right now, but if you have a question that pops up, feel free, drop me an email message, put it in a comment here, and it will be addressed in one way, shape, or form. I might even need to make a bonus video to help you as we go through this remotely. So we're going to know your market, we're going to build your expertise, utilize the resources, recap and have ahas, and then jump into our daily success habits. See, here's the truth. It has been done in another market, then it can be done in your market. And if it's been done, let me read this all the way through. Here's the truth. If it's been done in another market, it can be done in your market. Once it's been done, no matter where, It can be done in your market. It's just a matter of finding out how that can be possible in your particular world. I might live here in Florida. There might be something that an agent is doing lead generation or social media wise in Utah, in Washington State, in Arizona. Yet if I apply it to my own market, it may still work. That's the beauty of Keller Williams and being able to look at the different steps. But you got to need to understand your own particular market as we are able to go through this. So, what does connecting with your market mean to you? For me, what it means is that you are well connected, that you're well informed, and as an agent, you know everything that could possibly know about the real estate market, whether it's a neighborhood, small town, city, the county, or a segment of the market, such as downtown condos, golf course communities, retirement communities in the area I'm currently in. It could be a particular segment of the north suburbs of a city. What you choose is up to you. But when you make that choice, know that you need to know the market as well as, if not better than anybody else. So let's start to begin to connect with your market by knowing your market. See, knowing and connecting with your market is all about research and preparation. Easy for me to say. And this is where I'm going to put in the caveat. If you're watching this in a remote standpoint, if you're not going into the office to take Ignite, you are going to have to put additional time into your schedule to get to know this information. As a professional, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your potential clients. You didn't think that becoming a real estate agent just meant getting a license and you were magically going to get paid, did you? You should know better than that by now. And part of this is knowing the information about your particular marketplace. Knowing your market and connecting with your market in a unique and, here's a word again, consistent manner. So generally speaking, you can know about market factors on a macro level and a micro level. At the macro level, you'll know what's going on in your city or metro area that you live in. Every single month, I pull up the market statistics for the entire state of Florida, and then I also pull that up for the counties in which our market center serves. And I look to see the trends. Is our area trending the same way that the state is? Is it a little bit different? Then we can get down to the micro level of the specific homes or condos in the neighborhood or certain parts of town that you'll be focusing on. You might have a particular condo complex or a golf course community or a retirement community that's trending a bit different than the overall marketplace. In this session, you as a participant will cover the types of markets, the important numbers that you as a real estate agent should know about, and how to interpret these numbers to understand your clients. Now, in your participant guide, there will be an activity called Identify the Characteristics of Your Market. I want you to fill out that activity right now as you go through. What kind of markets do you know about already? And what important numbers do you already know about your marketplace? And I'm going to fill in one more thing, even that the book doesn't talk about, is where is your source of this information? Are you waiting on the newspaper to give you stats? Or are you yourself proactively working with your association of realtors, your office, your MLS, multiple listing system, or other report systems where you're getting the information before the mainstream media gets this information out? To be a real estate expert, you must understand your market of the moment as well. You see, markets change consistently and constantly, and sometimes very rapidly, and it requires you to pay attention, read the signs, and truly understand your market. This is the only way for you to be the expert and the fiduciary that the individuals that you're in contact with will feel comfortable and confident with working with you. This is how you deliver your expertise and also your perspective on the market that you and your clients are in. So let's drill down into this a little bit more. There are three types of real estate markets. We like to say that a balanced market is one in which there are 5 to 7 months of inventory. Okay, so there we just threw out a term. Let's define what we mean by months of inventory. We know that every single month, looking at the past, say, 60 to 90 days, the past 2 to 3 months, there have been a consistent number of sales that have occurred. Might be up a little bit, might be down, but we know there's a particular average. Let's say that average for the area that you're looking at is 100 homes sell per month. So when we look at months worth of inventory, we would say, well, if there is 100 homes a month and there are currently 600 homes on the marketplace, if no other homes entered the marketplace, it would take 6 months to sell all of the inventory. This is how we determine months of inventory. So if it's a balanced market, it's going to be 5 to 7 months. In the example that I used, there would be from 500 to 700 homes. If it starts to creep above 600, 700, 800, now we start to get into a buyer's market. Why? Because of supply and demand. There are more properties and more choices for the buyers to be able to look at. As inventory shrinks, as there are less homes that are available, then we start to move into a seller's market. See, a buyer's market, homes are not selling as rapidly. There are more homes for sale on the market. There's more homes than there are interested buyers. That supply of houses is greater than the demand, and we start to see larger inventories of houses available. This puts the buyer in an advantage. Same is true if we have less homes. That shifts the pendulum over to the seller being in the advantage, and a balanced market is really where we like to live. Although over the past 20 plus years that I've been in real estate, we've seen pendulum swings all the way through this. A shift occurs when the market moves from one market to another. Just in recent history, when we were going through the COVID crisis, and we were in that portion of real estate when interest rates were very, very, very historically low, we did not have as many homes available. This put the seller in an advantage. We have shifted over the last couple years in a majority of the markets to be in a balanced or more of a shifting towards a buyer's market. Now, when we make these types of terms, I've heard Gary Keller say this before. You cannot say, oh, it was 73 degrees yesterday in the United States of America. Yet in Florida, we're 80 some degrees. In the deserts of California, it's 100 degrees. And up in Fargo, North Dakota, let's pick on them for a little bit, it was only 32 degrees yesterday. There's no such thing as a national average, yet that gives us some trends that we can then look at what our own particular market is doing. So what causes shifts in the market? This is important for you to know. Examples can include changing interest rates, inflation, Economic factors in the community, like a new tech company announces that it's building a campus in town, or a new homes community comes in and breaks ground to add more properties that are available. How can knowing your market help you prepare for the shifts? Well, it may change and alter a bit the conversations that you're having with prospective buyers and sellers. Is the shift in the market something that you yourself can control? The answer is no. No matter what the marketplace, let's understand this. A buyer's market, a seller's market, a balanced market, there will always be individuals that need to buy or sell real estate. The question is, you can't control the overall marketplace. What you can control is the number of those buyers that choose to work with you. This is how you prepare for the markets and the shift and the tactics that you employ in order to make sure that you're ready for any type of market. See, inventory is the number of properties for sale in the marketplace. So, do you know the current inventory in the area that you are looking at? This is your opportunity to use your multiple listing system and have a macro and micro answer to this particular number. What is the inventory in your market? Also knowing what is the average numbers of days that a home has currently been staying on the market. What is the average for active properties right now? And what is the average for those homes that have successfully sold over the past 30, 60, 90 days? If you don't know how to find this information, most of the multiple listing systems will have an online training for you to show you how to do these searches. Or you may need to do the investment yourself of visiting your MLS system and taking a class from them so that you can find out these averages and these searches. Also, what's the typical price of a home in your market? Condo, home, different varieties. This will be different for a 3-bedroom than a 4-bedroom. This will be different for different square footage. But having the overall aspect, if I were to come to your particular area and I asked you what has the average single family home sold for over the past 90 days, would you be able to give me the answer so I could judge and know whether or not I was able to afford buying in your particular area? So these are some things that you can explore yourself within the marketplace and your multiple listing system. Next part, interest rates, lender regulations. Make contact with your lender. I do not know of a Keller Williams office that doesn't have some sort of partnership with a lender in your area. And I'm going to key you in on something. Over my years in the real estate, I knew generally what interest rates were. Were they in the 5%, 6%, 7% range? I never knew the specific interest rate. Why? Because it varies by particular buyer and their qualifications. It varies by the particular mortgage program. I built my network and was able to get my professionals in contact with my potential buyers and sellers to have meaningful conversations with these individuals. There are others, they want to know what the daily interest rate is. If that's you, then make your connection with your local partner or know your sources of where you are getting the rate information. Make sure that you're not following a website that only publishes, shall we say, teaser rates trying to get somebody to get in contact with them, yet the rates themselves do not actually match what's going through there. Now, whether you're considering a partner market, a relationship that we already have, make sure that you follow all of the RESPA guidelines and regulations that go through that. That being said, what are the current mortgage interest rates in your area? What approach are you going to take with this? Are you going to check a weekly basis, a daily basis, or are you going to let your professionals handle this? And knowing this information, what does that tell us about the current market, and how would this be valuable to know? Another tool that I'm going to point you back to, that your productivity coach, or I can point you in the right direction if you drop me a message as your virtual productivity coach, your business coach, is every single year, Gary Keller at the family reunion convention that we have puts together a vision speech, and that vision speech will show you all of the trends regarding interest rates, number of homes sold. He does these stats for the United States and for Canada. It's a great resource in my listing and buyer presentation notebook. And nowadays, if you had it on your iPad or your laptop for presentations, I always had that information available one tab away to be able to show buyers and sellers, to show them that I was the market professional that they would work with. Time to take a breath. There we go. Let's go into the economic factors that you need to know about for your market. Your economic factors are going to be a key in understanding your marketplace. Factors like unemployment or employment rates. There's national, but what are your also local, and then your macro down to your county level? How many workers are entering into the workforce or exiting the workforce? If you live in an area that has a retirement community, are there an influx of people in, or is there an influx out from that standpoint that could be affecting? Your job is not to become a research scientist. There are others that are doing this information. Your association of realtors should be putting together these types of results, these reports, and this information and research. If they're not, that's a reason for you to get involved and prompt them that they should be doing that as a value add for your fees that you're paying. Keller Williams puts out a monthly video that talks about the market conditions. As long as you have clients to ask you questions about the market, then this is pertinent. Your job is never ending to adjust, and this doesn't take away from. I know I have seen agents that have, back to, you heard this in session 2, that they get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready to get ready, and they never take action with regard to actually working with clients because they're doing all of their research and they get to know the marketplace. That's not what we're saying here. We're saying that you have a general overview so that you can have meaningful conversations with potential buyers and sellers. The last factor is to drill this down to other important factors regarding the neighborhoods that you're working in, the nearby shops, restaurants, what's going on with them, health facilities, neighborhood attractions. Why would somebody want to live in that particular neighborhood? And are these factors healthy to be able to go into consideration for buyers or for sellers? So you want to be on the lookout for new developments in the works, roads, housing developments, office buildings, gas stations, tech companies. I myself in Virginia made it a commitment to attend the county council meetings because this let me know what new developments were coming up. In greater, bigger areas, these are broadcast, and it may be something that you watch the YouTube video of it, or tune in, or read through the notes just to have the information. Also knowing the history of the area, when it was developed, when homes were built, those types of things. One of my early mentors, agent by the name of Peggy Parker, she knew her particular neighborhood that she worked in. She knew what the 5 models that were originally built. She could walk into somebody's home and know whether or not it had been updated from the original models. She knew her marketplace, and it was very difficult for people to compete against her in that particular area. So we talk about ahas. We drill down into ahas because this can also be something that came to your mind as to, wow, that's a lot of information that I need to know, or I need to make note of where are my sources, where am I going to find this information. I need to have a session with my productivity coach, whether it be in my market center, or I need to schedule a time with Robert so that we can talk about where can I get these particular sources. Or it may be just a mindset of this is important and it can't keep me from making my connections that I go through. So in your participant guide, make some ahas. Go ahead, share it in the notes. You can pause these videos at any time and go ahead and jump into that and have the information that you're looking for. Share it with others. That will be of value. All right, welcome back to the video. If you did pause, let's talk now about building your expertise. So you know that you connect with your market, you must know how to keep up with the market. You may be thinking, how do I learn about my market? There's so much to know. Remember those 6 personal perspectives that we talked about in session 1. Being learning based, not just learning it all at once, but constantly being learning based is part of your action plan. So how do we build your expertise? Let's go through this step by step to become your real estate market expert of choice. Once you know your market and familiar with all of the important numbers, it's time to start building your expertise. Part of educating your buyers and sellers is becoming the local expert. See, knowing the numbers is just the first step. Understanding, interpreting, and applying those numbers to your market and to your lead generation and lead follow-up are equally important. So what are some ways you've already began to build your expertise on your market level? Let's look into those things and let's talk about your expertise that you're building here. You're learning your market, you're learning your clientele, you're listening to individuals, and you're keeping the headlines in context. Let's face it, our modern media is trying to jolt people. In our social media is trying to soundbite them and give them a bit of information. You're going to be there to provide the perspective and the next level back as to what's going through this. So learning your market. We call this, and it starts with the language of real estate, the language of real estate that actually is important. Know how your market is moving. Is it moving to a buyer's market, seller's market? How to communicate this to buyers and sellers. Going to let you in on a little script here. I've learned this over the years. Someone's going to come to you and they're going to ask you, how is the market? I learned years ago a way to respond to that is not just to try to give them a general answer. It is to respond back, well, that depends. Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest? Because wouldn't the marketplace look different to a buyer than a seller than an investor? So you have to ask yourself, are there signs of the market picking up or slowing down for buyers or sellers? It's also important to track the numbers that are going on in your overall marketplace. If others in your market center are selling and you're not, you need to evaluate what's going on, because when you see sales going on, that means there's a possibility to be cashing checks. So your local numbers will change, and you'll look at how they also compare to the state and the national level. It's important to be focused on these potential changes, and there also will be some things that are seasonality or part of the normal flow. Generally speaking, transactions and prices tend to be higher in the summer in most marketplaces in the United States and Canada, while market inventories typically slow down in the winter. As you can imagine, if you're in Florida, if you're in Arizona, if you're in certain parts of the Sun Belt, this is going to change. It's going to be inverse with the snowbirds that you have. This is where I sometimes put an asterisk and say your mileage may vary, but you'll know this in your own personal market, and you'll know it in your own personal sales career as you go through. As you track the bigger market, track your own business as well of how it's doing versus these particular signs. You will notice if you are lead generating that your business will follow these same sort of trends, and that will help you with budgeting, those types of things. In a seller's market, buyers might become frustrated as properties start to get snatched up quickly. In this case, buyers need a level of patience. They also need to be better prepared with their financial information, their pre-approvals, and they need to know what to expect when they go into the marketplace. Knowledge is power. Know your specific numbers and your own trends. Learn your clientele. Who are your buyers? Who are your sellers? Which group is benefiting from the market of the moment? That's what I was trying to say. If it's a buyer's market, how are your buyers going to take advantage of this? If it's a buyer's market, how are your sellers going to have to better prepare their home and price their home accordingly to get it actually sold? As you're monitoring the numbers of the marketplace, ask yourself who might benefit from this current and future trends and who might be a little bit more at risk. Notice any trends in what people are saying to you as well. And this is why it's important for you to connect with your business associates as well, your lender, your title companies, your home improvement companies. They will be boots on the ground that will share you information. New objections might come into the picture, and there will be others that suddenly are not as important. You recognizing these patterns is key to building your expertise. If you are a part-time or dual career agent, having these conversations is going to be critical to you to understand what's going on in the marketplace. And you have to be able to shift gears between your current role and your role as a real estate expert of choice in your marketplace. Ebbs and flows and shifts of the market can be great, and they can be look different and taken different for the types of clients. A shift might be great for investors that are looking to invest in a particular neighborhood. You could benefit from the changes also yourself as you know the market numbers and see opportunities for your own business and real estate portfolio. Keep this in mind when it comes to lead generation and lead follow-up that we'll cover in future sections of the course. You have to listen to individuals. I was talking about this with the business to business aspect, but you need to go where the people are. Talk with the people who are learning about the market, your clients, your potential clients. Chat with them. Stay in communication. And more important, listen to them. Don't try to dictate to them what you think the market is. Listen to them. The knowledge they provide could be very helpful to you as you make sense of the market and, more importantly, of what your clients think of the market. As you make sense of the market, it's just as important that you listen and to understand what some people are thinking about. They may be saying, well, interest rates keep going up, so I better buy now. Or I'm going to wait till rates drop to X. They could be talking about their neighbor's home that hasn't sold, and so therefore they're going to hold off on selling. Finding out their reasons is very important because it may not be that they are just holding off because the other home didn't sell. They may not see that the other home is not being properly marketed, and that if you were able to take all of the steps that you outlined as a fiduciary for them, that they may be able to sell while the other home still sits on the market. This is the importance of listening to these key points. They're all key points. Be present where your people are. Learn where your sphere is getting their information. If they're reading a particular local magazine or newsletter or online information, you need to be tuned into that as well. And that will give you the opportunity to be able to go through it. You know, there was actually an agent when I was first getting started in real estate that wore a shirt that said, "I'm in real estate, ask me a question." And people would constantly come up to this individual. I saw it in action one time in a coffee shop. Somebody came up to them and said, "How's the market?" And they knew what their response was and how they were able to work with them. And here I was, an agent standing right next to them who actually was selling more homes than them, yet they came to the individual that made themselves known. Secret agents don't cash checks. I know I sound like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean when I say that, but that is true. Secret agents don't cash checks. You have a choice of what type of agent you're going to be. Put yourself in a position where you can listen to your marketplace. As you learn your market and your clientele, also be aware that headlines can be persuasive. Recently, with all of the talk about Doge, and I know I'm dating this video here, but at the time that it occurred, there were individuals that put out false headlines that said the DC, Northern Virginia, Maryland, DMV marketplace has fallen out. There were Keller Williams agents that immediately got on social media and started posting daily the number of homes that were active and listed for sale. And the number of additional homes that were listed for sale only increased by a minuscule amount. Yet if you read the headlines, if you heard the headlines, you would think it was Chicken Little and the sky was falling. They kept their clients in perspective of knowing this type of information by them paying attention to the marketplace, and they got the direct source of information from the MLS system that they were working with. So we've gone through the 4 steps. I'll go back into that. Let me scroll back up one page here of learning the market, learning your clientele, listening to the individuals, and keeping the headlines in context. Which of these are you going to work on yourself? What is your focus going to be moving forward? I want to hear from you in the comments. I want to hear from you in your participant guide as you list out some of the ahas of how you're going to build your expertise in the marketplace, on the time that you're going to dedicate to take to this, remembering that this is not an excuse to not have individual conversations with people in your database, and it does not exclude you or excuse you from doing lead generation. All right, let's get back to it, because this will gave you an opportunity to stop there for a moment. Let's look at some of the resources that you have available to you to put this plan in action. So one of the resources that you have that we're going to talk about that you're able to use on your smartphone is the ability to download the KW Command app onto your phone. I know, even as a coach or team leader of a marketplace, I'm utilizing the Command app on my phone on a daily basis to go through and use this information. So I'm able to go into the Apple or the Play Store and download KW Command. You can get information about this from your Ignite reference guide. There are also plenty of videos that you can utilize with regard to the command of how to set it up. On YouTube, I would search for a 66-day challenge. You can actually subscribe to or watch an individual, a tech trainer with Keller Williams, give you a daily lesson that teaches you how to use KW Command to its fullest. See, being a member of Keller Williams, you have, and this is not a sales pitch for Command, this is the reality. You have Command, that is a cloud-based Keller Williams system. You're not having to go to some third party. It is a system that is designed for you to be able to run your data bank. So this information is available to you on a single platform. This also is available to you on your phone, and there are improvements that are being made to this system on a consistent basis. Command can assist with your lead generation. It can automate workflows, help you manage your transactions, customize reports, enhance your customer service, and make better business decisions. I have an individual, the morning that I'm recording this, that I have been communicating back and forth with on Command, and all of my communications are recorded with this individual's contact tag, so I have a timeline of information so I can refer back to in the future. In the KW app as well, there is a public searching facing app that you have available that will be branded with your information. What does that mean? That means you have the ability to download this app with your KW Connect login credentials. This can be done from the App Store or Google Play by searching for Keller Williams Real Estate. They can drop-down menu will come up. You can scroll the profile. You can log in as an agent using this information, and then you can share your app with others. Why this is important is that others, meaning potential buyers and sellers, can have this app information. And as you see on the screen, there's a map they can actually click on and get more information about the property, save the property, and communicate back to you their interest. And the beauty of Keller Williams is that this lead comes back to you versus other real estate companies where it goes back to the corporate contact, and then they sell that lead back to the agents and collect a referral fee. Your listing's your lead, your data. You are the one that can utilize this in your contacts, in your follow-ups, to share your app with individuals, and then they will interact with that and be able to communicate back with you when they're working on the app. So part of establishing your business in your resources is working through what we would call a 10-5-1 within social media. So let's talk about the 10-5-1 plan of what's going through. The 10-5-1 involves liking 10 posts a day, writing 5 comments, and sending at least one direct message. This could be with potential buyers, with potential sellers, or local businesses in your area that you are networking with, whether it be your home inspector, whether it be a small business, a boutique in your area, etc. You are there in their stream of conscience. By liking their post. Oh, look, Robert just liked my post. Oh, yeah, he is that real estate individual. Boy, let me go check out his page, how things are going. Oh, my goodness, he's holding an open house this weekend. This is the way that social media works. We don't prescribe a particular platform that this is occurring on. This could be Facebook. This could be YouTube. There are individuals that utilize this. I see them within Keller Williams that also do this on LinkedIn. We'll cover this more thoroughly in a later session of Ignite, but that social media is a great way for you to be able to go through this. Notice that this also is in a place where you could be following 80% of your posts that you make are not about real estate. They're just things that you're interested in. And 20 posts would be specifically about real estate. So your participant guide, you'll have an activities labeled brainstorming your social media personality of how you're able to go through. Maybe you're going to be known as the puppy guy. Folks that are involved and follow any part of my social media know that auto racing is going to be a portion of it. It's just what they have to do. And every once in a while, I'll tie it back in to racing, or on my business page, it'll be more of 80% about business and 20% about professional. The key here is not being a secret agent. Follow some other top agents, whether it be in your area or in other parts of Keller Williams, and model what they are doing. There are playbooks that your tech trainer or your coach can be able to go through with you and talk about the particular things. So we have a section on our daily success system that is known as Enrichments. We've gone through the conversations that you're going to be having. We're going to have the contacts that you're adding to your database. There is a place within Keller Williams KW Command that you can make note of people's Facebook profile, their Instagram profile, their LinkedIn profile, so that when you're on their command sheet that you can click one particular button and be taken to their social media. That would be valuable information for you to have. We've talked about handwritten notes. We just went over the 10-5-1 model for social engagement, and then we'll talk about some of the enrichments that you're doing that will help you learn the marketplace. These are 6 things that are listed that can start to help you to build out, and it gives you a daily reminder. Did I enrich myself? Did I do something to learn more about my business? The enrichment could be, I'm going to put as number 7, that's where I talked about taking the 66-day challenge for KW Command. That might be something that's very, very important to you. So you could study your own individual market center reports. You can get that from your assistant team leader, your team leader, your director of communications, somebody within the market center, an ALC, one of your associate leadership council folks, that are agents within your office. Put them to work, and they will point you in the right direction to get that information. Enrichments might be previewing homes. We've got a brand new homes community that just opened, or at least the sales representatives came into our office last week. I'm going to make it a point within the next 7 to 10 days to go and take a look at those properties and see what their offerings are. Take an MLS course to learn more information about how to get those data that you're needing. Visit an open house. Be brave enough to hold an open house. There are agents in your market center that would love to support new agents hosting an open house. We'll go through how to hold an open house in a future session. So make sure that you get through all 20 of the sessions as soon as possible so you can start cashing checks. Doesn't mean you can't work with or do lead generation in the meantime. Study your language of real estate. There's this book. It's got a red cover on it called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent Book. Take the time to start to go through that book. We'll key you in on something. There are also some folks that have the audio recording of it on YouTube if you look far enough. So those are some ways in which you can do your particular enhancements, enrichments that you have there. I'm going to skip through it real quick. I'd love your feedback that you could give me. You can go to KWU and do an eval and fill in my information about that you took Ignite in a virtual format and give a review for myself. I would love that. If your instructor's not listed, that's correct. Instructor not in drop-down box, just type my information in. Some information with KW Cares on here and KW Next Gen, which is a great program for young individuals to learn about Gary Keller's Quantum Leap. Now, when we go into the ahas, this is exactly where we go into this section about you taking action and being able to go through. List out your ahas in your study participant guide, email them to me, put them in the comments. We've gone through a lot of information, but let's go through and look at how all of this is also fitting together for you. You see, we've talked about knowing your market and the types of markets that there are, your inventory, your interest rates, and your partnerships that you're developing with your lenders, the economic factors that are in play, and other market factors that are particular to your state, county, city, or neighborhood. You also are building your expertise by learning the marketplace, learning your clientele, putting yourself in position to listen to individuals, and then also keeping perspective and keeping the headlines in context by tuning into some of the Keller Williams information that you have available and the monthly market updates that come out. So we also review through this: thinking, feelings, actions, and tools. What tool are you going to use this week? Are you actually going to take the time to download your app? Are you going to sign up for the 66-day challenge? What actions are you going to take? Put it in the comments. Let me know what details you're doing. Send me an email. Would love to know that information as we go through the success system and the different particulars that we're going to go through. But you've learned some things about your marketplace. Your success system, now we added in enrichment. So you've got your conversations, you've got your contacts, your handwritten notes, your 10-5-1. If we were in class together, I would stop at this particular moment. You would get your laptop out, you would get your phone out, and within 10 minutes, we would do your 10-5-1. When would now be a good time to take action? I'm going to repeat that. When would now be a good time to take action? You can pause this video and go take care of that. I'll be here. I'll still be here. And then the enrichments, the additional items that you're on. We're layering things on top of it. Your schedule is starting to add some layers to it. And it's not about selling real estate. It's about following a schedule. Your participant guide will be able to go through it. Any of these contacts that you make sure you're making them in a TCPA compliant manner and that you're following the do not call list information and details that you go through. So there, we made sure that we covered that information. Check with your local market center for all of the details on this. Your affirmation: I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. I've put in the time, effort, and the energy to get to know them and to be able to provide value by the information that I know about the marketplace. So, role play, do your conversation list, actually start to lead generate and go through the different steps that are going to be successful for you. Get out of your own way and start to take action. If you don't have leads, you don't have possibilities to be successful in business. And let me know your successes. Hey, not only did I make 10, I actually made 12 contacts yesterday. Okay, I took action. I went to the dollar store. I went to Walmart. I went to Target. I actually got some note cards. I actually sent a couple. Celebrate the successes. Hey, I actually did my first 10-5-1. Let me know what the steps are of what you're going through. You've made it this far. Do not quit now. You're like a roller coaster. You're just starting to go up the track. We're going to take you all the way up so that you start to develop some momentum. Our next session is going to be defining your value. Why would somebody work with you as a brand new agent? By the time you get done with this session, we're going to have some answers. Don't think that it's not something that it looks like it's meat and potatoes. This session 4 is going to be critical as a bridge to the next skill sets that we do. Make sure you tune in. I'll look for you on session 4 of Ignite. Let's continue the journey to success.